Good afternoon, grinders. This is your MLB SimLabs analysis for Friday, August 1st. I'm Jordan Cooper, aka BlenderHD, BlenderHD. You want to follow me on Twitter? Hit that thumbs up button on your way in the door. You know how much I like the thummy thumbs. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here, and hit the notification bell to always know when we go live. We got Grinders live later today, 5 p.m. Eastern on the channel, followed by Crunch Time, hosted by Kevin Roth, the best meteorologist in the business. I do not think we have anything to worry about on the weather front. I guess Tampa Bay, Colorado. I mean, Colorado's going to be very important, but it's yellow green. Late start or delay isn't fully out of the question, but it's not too likely. Definitely tune in later today, just to make sure. That's going to be obviously a very important game with the Pirates having a 6.35 implied team total in Colorado against Senzatella, who is not good. Not good. As opposed to the rest of the slate of pitchers, we got 11 games on the main slate. A lot of good pitching today. There's a lot of low totals. We got. Let's see, how many totals are under 4 on today's slate out of the 22. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 22 lower than a 4, and then there's some that are just barely over 4. Highest projected pitcher on the slate is Logan Gilbert, 10.0 K, 21 point median fantasy projection. Is about 3 points, 2.5 points clear of the next pitcher. We got Gilbert, we got at 10K. We got Rodon, 10.2K. We got Hunter Brown, 10.5K. We have their optimal rates according to our Sims at 23, 21, and 20% respectively. But then we got a bunch in the middle. We got Robbie Ray, 8,800 against the Mets. Joe Ryan, 9,700 against Cleveland. We got Nick Pivetta, 9,500 against St. Louis. And then cheap pitcher, probably Gavin Williams, 7,800 against Minnesota. He has a 5.5 strikeout prop, minus 160 at 7,800. He may be like the SP2 chalk of the slate. Ownership's a bit spread out on everyone other than Gilbert and Williams. Gilbert 33% projected owned. Williams 27% projected owned. And based on their optimal rates, you can see here in SimLabs, we have them as pretty over-owned. Doesn't mean you can't play them, but maybe the combination of Gilbert plus Williams, especially if you're playing the Pirates today, maybe you don't do so. SimLabs actually shows Andrew Heaney at 5,500. We have him at like 2% owned. I don't know if he goes that low, but we have him as like under owned. But I mean, 80. We have his pitch count at 88. He's pitching in Colorado. Colorado has a 5.65 implied team total. I know the Rockies suck. I know Heaney's cheap, but very, very risky, especially when his strikeout prop's like 3.5. Like, can Heaney get you 10 to 12 points? Yes. But I think on this slate with all this pitching that's available, I think you're probably going to need 40 plus at both, combined pitching slots. I don't think there's going to be enough offense that it's going to be worth it doing so. So as of right now, I'm staying away from Andrew Heaney, even though we see here that Andrew Heaney is the most underowned, quote unquote, pitcher on the slate. You could do worse, right? You could play Senzatella at 4,500. That would be worse. You could play Criswell at 6,400. That would be worse. There are plenty of worse pitchers on today's slate. But you don't necessarily have to spend up twice. You don't have to play Gilbert plus Brown or Gilbert Rodon. I think going down to Gavin Williams is perfectly fine. Jacob Lopez is there. Jack Leiter is there. They're okay. They have 8% optimal rates. They're okay. We'll see what SimLabs has to say. From a top stacks perspective, obviously, you can see here, the optimal rate for top stack is Pittsburgh, 20%, which is a pretty damn high for 22 teams being available. 20% chance of being optimal. They're not like they're not like cheap, but they're probably underpriced still. I mean, we take a look at this lineup, especially when you could play guys at the bottom of the order, no problem in your stack. Horwitz, 4,200. McCutcheon, 4,400. Reynolds, 4,700. Nick Gonzalez, 4,500. Obviously, O'Neill Cruz is the most expensive at 6,300. But Pham at 4,100. And then you get Davis, Peguero, and Kiner Falefa. Use them at your disposal, I guess. But yeah, compared to other stacks, like they're not absurdly expensive, but they're not like the cheapest of cheap. Like compared to like Houston. Houston's lineup, 4.15 implied team total. We take a look at Houston here. I mean, they're like dirt. They're dirt cheap in a spot heading into Boston. Altuve is expensive, 4,800, but you got like Sanchez at 3,700, Correa at 3,500. I mean, obviously the Astros lineup looks a little bit different now. Caratini 3,300, Walker 3,400, Cam Smith 3,700, Diaz 3,200. I mean, they're absurdly affordable. So that's why we have them at the fourth highest optimal rate, 7.54%. And the top, one of the top values on the slate. The White Sox, obviously, are almost always one of the top values on the slate because they're awful. But it turns out the White Sox actually have a higher implied team total than the Astros today. The Astros 4.15, the White Sox 4.24 against Tyler Anderson. And that we see here, according to our ownership, that the White Sox are actually going to be over-owned today, especially if you're going to try to play two 10K pitchers. That it's going to, if you go by median projections, it's probably going to jam a White Sox stack in more often than it probably should. But 4% chance of being optimal is not like awful, right? Because we got teams like the Athletics. Look, it's going to be very hard to play a team like the Athletics or the Dodgers today, just due to price. The Yankees, like the Yankees, have a 4.49 implied team total, which is not like really that high. It's going to be tough to play these types of stacks without playing too cheap, without going Gavin Williams plus Jack Leiter, stuff like that. I think today, however, I think I lean more on the side of the, play Pittsburgh, play Houston, play maybe Angels a little against Shane Smith. We'll see. Let's run SimLabs. I mean, I could speculate all I want based on heuristics of playing DFS for 10 years. But let's run SimLabs. 5-man stack, small field contest, medium results range. Probably play 1 to 3 lineups today. Let's see what the exposures come out. I'm assuming I'm going to get a decent amount of Heaney, right? According to SimLabs. I still think I'm going to get plenty of Gilbert. I don't think it's going to be the type of thing where it's going to tell me no, you just rather play just Rodon or Brown in a lot of your lineups, right? But we'll see. I'm assuming we get a lot of Pittsburgh, a lot of Houston, and probably the White Sox also. I mean, let's see. Let's take a look. So it's starting pitcher. Yeah, I mean, Gilbert's the most exposed pitcher, but Carlos Rodon is up there also. Jack Leiter actually comes in better than Gavin Williams. Actually, that may be the play. That may be the play today. 6% own we have projected on Jack Leiter. 4.5 strikeout prop minus 155. So to me, this to pay $1,300 more to play Jack Leiter against Seattle, which is not like the greatest of matchups. 4.34 implied team total, but they do strike out. Maybe better than 1,300 less and play Andrew Heaney because we're really not even getting Heaney. I mean, take a look here, like barely any Heaney at all, right? Some Ryan, some Robbie Ray, some Hunter Brown, but it seems like it prefers Carlos Rodon the most out of this bunch. And I'm assuming, are there Rodon Gilbert lineups? Well, we'll take a look. We'll try to build those. And from a team's perspective, yeah, ton of Pirates, ton of Rockies today. Right? We take a look at the Rockies lineup. And the Rockies are not like absurdly cheap. Right? Because you still, Hunter Goodman is 5,200. But I mean, you got Warming Bernabel, 3,300. You got Estrada at 4,400. I mean, it's not like Tovar, 3,900. It's fine. they're fine, I guess, against Andrew Heaney. I have no problem, facing. But White Sox, Dodgers, even though it's hard to afford the Dodgers, you're not getting many Astros. It's kind of weird. More White Sox than Astros. SimLabs may think that the Astros are overowned, I guess. I mean, we take a look at like lineup 1 over here, Williams Leiter. Like these are the cheapo lineups. But I want to go to settings because you could do this in SimLabs. I want to player filter. I want to see what do Gilbert Rodon lineups look like. Let's say I wanted to pay up twice at pitcher. Like what is fitting in? So I'm assuming this is going to be the White Sox. I mean, if it prefers the White Sox over the Astros, like something that's dirt cheap in order to play and in order to spend $20.2K at pitcher. Right, here we go. White Sox. Right, and these lineups actually rate out pretty damn good. White Sox, Angels, Rockies. Dodgers, of course, but Dodgers without Ohtani, I'm assuming. Right, we take a look at where's this lineup over here? Now you can play. Okay, here's a White Sox lineup that you can play with Betts and Ohtani. And the White Sox, you could essentially play the White Sox 1-5 and still get Ohtani in your lineup because that's how cheap the White Sox are. So you get Madroth, Robert, Caro, Vargas, Benintendi. Look how cheap these guys are. And you still are able to play Ohtani in your lineup with Rodon and Gilbert. Vomit stack. I mean, this is a vomit stack. You play Tommy Edman also here. 5-3 White Sox Dodgers. I have no problem with this. I don't have a problem with this. If you're going to pay up twice like this, then let's take a look. Because we show some Dodgers. I mean, I guess it prefers the Dodgers 4.71 implied team total. So let's say we lock in. We don't have to lock in Gilbert, but let's take a look. What do Gilbert? Okay, let's go by the chalk combination. What do Gilbert Williams lineups look like? Right, you eat both chalky pitchers. I mean, how contrarian do you need to get in small field contests? Because this is what you should be using SimLabs for as a research tool. You can even do this on your phone. This is literally what I do on my phone. I'll be out 6:30 p.m. Tune into crunch time. Make sure there's no rain delay, no possibility of games getting postponed. And I built the lineups on my phone. 1, 2, 3 lineups done. 10 minutes, I'm done. Even less than that if you want, depending on the size of the slate. Okay, these are a little bit different, right? The Diamondbacks, right? Diamondbacks with O'Neal Cruz as a one-off. Think about O'Neal Cruz. Do we really want to play him as a one-off? I don't know. Typically, heuristically, I'm not a big fan of paying the most expensive, most owned guy from the chalkiest stack as a one-off because typically, if he makes value and he gets 25 plus points at 6,300, typically that means the stack did well. And if you don't have the stack, you're probably dead. But hey, SimLabs knows more than me. So here's Rockies. We got a Rockies stack, Rockies and the White Sox. So you really don't get. I mean, you don't have to. I guess the thing is you don't have to necessarily get a White Sox stack in order when you're playing Gavin Williams. Here's Rockies, A's. You're playing Nick Kurtz at first base. So here would be like a chalky with a sort of non-chalky 3-man. So Gilbert plus Williams, the Pirates 5-man, and then you're playing a 3-man 2-3-4 for the Rays, right? And you see here, I mean, look, Brandon Lowe, 3.88%, but no one is like super low owned. 37% on Gilbert, 27% on Williams. The Pirate stack, which is going to be chalky at 12, 14, 6, 11, 8, right? You playing Pagero there as a punt at shortstop. Like, this isn't bad. Like, I would play this. I think heuristically, I think it's a little too chalky. I'd rather play Jack Leiter here. I'd rather, do something Like if I'm playing Gilbert, play Gilbert plus Leiter plus the Pirates. So I'm not playing like the complete chalk. Or you play Gavin Williams with Carlos Rodon. Like you understand what I mean by, mix and match with the Pirates. Because the Pirates obviously stand out as the top option on the entire slate. Everything else is essentially don't worry about ownership. I guess maybe the White Sox. It's hard for me to tell sometimes how owned White Sox stacks are going to be on any given day because they're always cheap. But it's not like they're good. It's not like they're. I mean, really, it's not like they're good. The White Sox come out and score 5 runs. That's okay. But I don't think you're going to win the slate with 5 or 6 runs from the White Sox. Are they going to put up 10? Probably not. They're the White Sox. That's why I'm surprised, though, the Astros aren't heavily in there. But it's not like the Astros have that high of a team total either. I guess the Dodgers, the Dodgers are semi-affordable. I guess though those are the top teams on the slate. I mean, really, if we take a look at the stacks tool, it's Houston is up here, but SimLabs is just not getting to Houston, even with the 4th highest optimal percentage. It vastly prefers like the Angels, the Diamondbacks, the White Sox, the Rays, even the Athletics. Kind of odd. We could take a look. Let's say what do the Dodgers stacks look like? So let's say we lock in, because we could also do this. I mean, you could also do stuff like this where I could exclude O'Neal Cruz. Like we said before, it's like, okay, I don't want to play the most expensive guy in the most owned stack as a one-off. And be like, well, if I exclude O'Neal Cruz, I lock in the Dodgers. Basically, it won't give me Cruz as like one-offs or anything like that. Right? So I want to play the Dodgers. No O'Neal Cruz. Let's see, what do these lineups look like? I probably should lock in Ohtani or something like that, right? Probably want to play Ohtani in your Dodger stacks. I mean, none of these. Well, this one has Ohtani. Oh, this one has Ohtani also. So, yeah, you got to play White Sox. You can play MJ Melendez at 2K with Ryan and Pivetta paying up twice. You could pay up twice and play the Dodgers, but then you're going to be like punting with a lot of these like 2K guys. And right, you're going to play Peguero as a one-off at 3,200. Tommy Pham. And you got to play Andrew Heaney. But it's doable. Obviously, it's doable. So, I mean, yeah, the ratings here aren't that bad for these lineups. Gilbert Lopez. I mean, Lopez is fine also. I think I prefer Jack Leiter to Jacob Lopez, but I mean, I don't think it's that different. It's only the fact that I think the Diamondbacks are like I'd rather play the Diamondbacks as a low owned stack than play Jacob Lopez. While Seattle, I don't think is rated that highly to begin with, right? Seattle's down here, 1% chance of being optimal. So we could check out what those lineups look like. So if I wanted to play, let's say, a Gilbert Leiter lineup, what would those lineups look like? Can you play Leiter Williams? I mean, that would be the two cheap pitcher combination. I'm just very concerned when we have Gilbert, Rodon, Brown, Ray, Ryan, Pivetta. That, yeah, maybe not. Yeah, sure. Maybe 3 of them don't get 20 points, but 3 of them, I mean, I think some of these pitchers are going to get 20 plus points today. They all don't get blown up. So you're going to need a lot of points at pitcher, unless obviously Williams and Leiter could both get 20 points for even cheaper. You got Pirates, Angels. I don't mind this lineup. Gilbert, Leiter. You're playing the bottom of you're playing O'Neal Cruz and the bottom of the order. And then you're playing the Angels. Like here's one, Gilbert Leiter. You're playing Pirate Stack. You're playing Locklear and Blaze Alexander for the Diamondbacks. And then Will Smith is a one-off. Like, I don't mind this either. Here's a Diamondback stack. I mean, I think the Diamondbacks are. I mean, maybe are they the sneaky snack? Is that what the term that we use, sneaky? So really, they're not owned. I mean, other than maybe like Kettle Marte. I mean, I guess Alexander 8% owned, Gurriel 7%. They're not unowned. Or we look at the top stacks tool, 5%. I mean, they're not one of the top 5 stacks in ownership. Probably, maybe not even one of the top 7 stacks in ownership. The Diamondbacks, have 4.58 implied team total. They're playing in Sacramento. That always increases variance. No, I don't mind the Diamondbacks. And I don't mind Jacob Lopez. That's what you should do. Right? We have Jacob Lopez at 12% projected owned. So if you think Lopez is actually going to be more owned than that, maybe it's more beneficial to play the Diamondbacks. And if you think Lopez is going to be half his own, then it's maybe more beneficial to play Lopez. I like leaning into those types of situations. Just like I like leaning into SimLabs for my research, which is part of the Combo Light and Combo Pro package here at RotoGrinders. It's our cheapest package, Combo Light. I don't know where you go wrong. NFL's coming up. You get it for that too. You get NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA. Build your lineups on your phone. You can use the desktop. You could use the bat projections. You could use our RotoGrinders projections. You could build for 150 lineups. You could build for one lineup. You can use research and do a mix and match of everything. You also get access to our databases, our research tools like Plate IQ, Court IQ, Gridiron IQ, Weather Edge, and our tools, articles, rankings, premium podcasts, everything, including Cheese's $1 Million Musings, which is out today already. He writes like 10,000, 15,000 words every weekday for the slates in MLB. And obviously, you also get SimLabs. So sign up for that today by clicking on the link in the description below. But it's free. Hitting that thumbs up button. So do that for me, please, if you can. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here and hit the notification bell. You'll always know when we go live. Remember, I said 5 p.m. Eastern is Grinders Live. Dean and the guys breaking down every game, every player, the pitchers, the stacks, and everything, and other shenanigans. And immediately following that at about 6:15 p.m. is crunch time. You get everything leading up until lock, including all the weather reports and the expert plays. So tune into that and tune back into me next week as I go over another MLB SimLabs analysis here on RotoGrinders.com.